Hi, this is Jen, and thanks for joining me. Today I am going to do 10 cards with the main squeeze collection by Crate Paper. And actually the reason that I even found this collection was I saw that when Simon Says Stamp came out with their February card kit, they had a sticker sheet by Main Squeeze, or the Main Squeeze collection by Crate Paper. And so I went on scrapbook.com just to see if they had any other items, and they had a bunch. I didn't actually end up getting the sticker sheet that came in the Simon Says Stamp kit, but I did find a bunch of other items that all go together. So it's really easy, it's very cost efficient, and I got a 6x6 paper pad. I got two sticker sheets, a little set of stamps, and some ephemera, and I'm able to make 10 cards, and I have a lot left over. So it's a great deal. Scrapbook.com is a great place to get items that coordinate. So if that's what you're looking for, they definitely have it. So I went ahead and I took this EXO paper and cut it down so it fits about the bottom quarter of my card base. And I think I mentioned in my videos whenever I do one that I get my cardstock from Michaels because it's a great deal. It's 110-pound cardstock. It comes in 100 sheet stacks. So when you have your 50% off coupon, it's like $7. And so it's good cardstock. It's nice and heavy and perfect for card bases. So basically what I did was I just took the heart, one of my heart dies from my stash, and I opened up the card base flat so that it didn't go through both sides of the card, and just ran that through my die cut machine. And did I already say that? I don't know. It's Friday, so that I have just a cutout in my card base. So right now I'm taking some more lipstick Distress Oxide ink, and what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and make a frame for around my heart. And so I'm just taking my blending tool and on some Bristol Smooth cardstock and blending out the pink. And then I'm going to take an acrylic block, and I'm using my Spectrum Noir glitter pen, and I'm just squeezing out some glitter, and then I'm just going to kind of spread the, I can't even think of any words. I went ahead and kind of tapped that all over so it like splatters. So there's little dots of glitter basically. I don't know why I cannot think of the word. And then I also go ahead and I do use water also, but I don't show that on the video, but I do spritz it with water, as you can see in this video. And then I'm going to take two hearts that are right next to each other in size and go ahead and cut the frame out for my card. And I'm just taking some Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, and then I went ahead and put some washi tape, some silver washi tape across the side. And then the inside of the card is going to have a piece of pink vellum, and so I just trim that to fit, and then use my tape runner. It's not real noticeable, not like clear vellum, but it is slightly noticeable, but it's on the inside of the card, so I didn't really worry about it. And then I take my embossing tool and run it across the vellum because I am going to go ahead and heat emboss this. And I'm using my Versamark Dazzle pad just because that's what I have on my desk, and the sentiment is I heart you. And I'll go ahead and use some silver embossing powder, and I believe this is Hero Arts. And then I will also go ahead and take some of the hearts from the stamp set and use my Versamark Dazzle again. And again, use the same silver embossing powder. And that will complete this first card. I think this is probably one of my favorites out of the set. I just think it's really pretty. And I love the silver sentiment and the silver hearts. So the second card I'm doing is I'm going to do some heart faces. And so I'm using this piece of pattern paper, and then I'm going to take out of my stash a die, and I think it's got some, it's a scallop die. And originally this was supposed to be a straight across cut with the die, and it moved in my die cutting machine, but as it would be, it just looks fine. It probably looks better than if it were straight, and so I'm happy with that. So the Just Love piece and the big heart are both pieces of ephemera that were in the ephemera pack, and the other pieces that I'm using for this card will be off of the sticker sheets. So the Just Love piece has two like fake looking staples, so I thought I'd go ahead and get out my I think it's a We Are Memory Keepers staple, which is too small, so I got out my regular size staple and put some of the pink staples in it and just kind of stapled over those fake staples. So I take the card panel and adhere that just flat to the card base, and then I take the little heart stickers and pop those up with foam tape, and then I take the sentiment sticker and cut off the end so that it's just straight across and there's no flags, and I pop that one up. I pop that one on I pop that up with foam tape and place it on the card. That is what happens. And that completes this card number 2. And so this was made using basically all supplies from the collection other than the staples. So this next card, I am using this cute pattern paper. It has a dog, a fox, a cat, and a llama. And then here I'm trying to figure out whether I want to use the heart or the plaid paper. I end up using the plaid paper, and I grabbed a piece of gold kind of foil or metallic paper from my stash. I think it's from a previous My Hero Arts card kit, actually. So I go ahead and center that across the middle of the card, and this is a side fold card. And then I'm going to take the pink plaid paper and center that across the gold. And then with the little cute little characters, originally I did want to keep the scalloped edge around them. That's part of the reason I chose to use the gold paper in the card. But I end up not doing that because it just looked better cut-wise. And I guess I could have looked at my stash to see if I had a scallop that would have fit. So I ended up just cutting those out as just circles. And then I took a postage stamp die from my stash, and this is a square set, and go ahead and put that on my card, all 4 pieces. And I didn't actually line this up very well because on the left hand side you can see some of the card underneath the postage die, and on the left hand side it's just a flat straight edge, but that's okay. And so here I am just adhering the little faces to the top of the card, and then I'm going to take this sticker sheet, and there are these little kind of like conversation hearts, and so I'm going to put one of those conversation hearts above each of the little characters. And I like to use my EK Success anti-static tool to take the adhesive off of the stickers. And so since I'm going to be popping these stickers up, I didn't want anything to get stuck underneath, and so the best way to do that is just to remove the stickiness. And so over each of the hearts I'm just going to run my anti-static tool over them, and then I'll use a piece of foam square and put those over each of the characters. And that's pretty much it for this card. I don't think I do anything else with it. It's kind of simple, and again using pretty much everything from the collection, nothing extra except for the gold piece of paper. And I got this little tool, what is that? That's a Tim Holtz tool, I think, for Christmas. So I'm just kind of trying it out. It's just like a piercing tool. I'm sure you've seen those before. Oops, I had some little technical difficulties, it looks like. So for the third card, I'm going to use the pink plaid paper again, and I'm using kind of a very light pink card base. So I'm just going to adhere the pink plaid to cover all of the middle of the card with room left on the right and left side. So this is going to be, no, so this is a top folding card. So I'm taking some of the ephemera pieces and I am just going to adhere that flat to the card base. Okay, maybe I don't do that. I don't adhere it flat. I use some adhesive foam to adhere that to the card base, and then I take one of the stickers that says I love us with the cute little strawberries, and I adhere that on top of my other piece of ephemera. And then I take a few of the little stickers from the sticker sheet and place that on the card. And then I'm going to take my Spectrum Noir glitter marker, and I'll go ahead, or overlay pen or whatever it's called. Usually I use the Wink of Stella, but I'm getting kind of low on that, so I had bought a 3-pack of the Spectrum Noirs, and so I've been using those more lately. But I do go ahead and take that pen and go over the lemon and the strawberry. I think that's a lemon. A pink lemon, but it's a lemon, nevertheless. So the 2 sentiments on this card is I love us and you're my main squeeze. And again, this is just another really quick and easy to put together card. You know, takes no time at all. And sometimes it's fun just to do cards that you don't need to do a lot of technique, just, you know, to put together, just to see what you can put together with the kit or the card pieces. So my next card, I am using kind of this basket weave pattern in red, and I go ahead and take my stitched rectangle die and cut out the middle of the card panel, and then put adhesive on the back, and I put that, and I use another piece of from the ephemera pack. It says, oh gosh, we make a great pair. And I just put that on the card kind of in a diagonal so that the white around the edges shows a little bit. And then I just take some stickers again from the sticker pack and place those around the card. And then I take the kind of like glossy accents pen. This came in a My Hero Arts kit. I believe it was a kit that was for December, maybe. That had all the little houses and the little railroad track. And I didn't make really, I don't think I made any cards from that kit. So I had this pen, so I went ahead and figured I'd go ahead and use it. So I'm just going over the leaves and the stem with this pen. And that will complete this card. I believe this is card number 4. I'm having a little bit of trouble with my editing software. It keeps freezing on me, so I am talking, but my screen isn't moving, and so I'm not really sure what it looks like. So I do apologize if I'm kind of like out of sync with what's going on. So the next card I'm going to do, this is probably my least favorite card. I originally, I kind of liked it, and then I kind of went overboard. So I took a die from my stash. This die is probably, I don't know, 3x4, something like that. And I'm going to take my adhesive tape and go around the edges, and I will adhere that to my card base, which just happens to be a black card base. The gold heart is from the ephemera pack. And the paper that I'm using for the frame is from the 6x6 paper pad. It's just kind of like a pink. It almost looks like a pinky orange color to me. I don't know why. At any rate, there are gold hearts on it, so I went ahead and took the gold heart. And then I'm taking these little, there's some little sentiment flags in the cut apart page in the 6x6 paper pad. And so I cut apart all of the flags. The different sentiments are XOXO. I love you, Valentine. And so I just take some adhesive and put it on the very end and attach those to the side of the heart, so that it says I love you, Valentine, and then it will say XOXO. And I adhere this heart flat to the card base. I don't pop it up. So after I adhere this to the card base, I go ahead and get some clear thread, I guess you could say it is. And I'm going to wrap that around my finger. So this is how I make a little, I don't even know what you call this. So basically I take the thread, and depending on how big I want it is how many fingers I wrap it around. So I usually start with one finger and start wrapping it maybe once or twice, a couple times, and then I put my other finger out and do the third. So I do this one around 3 fingers so that it kind of makes kind of that messy little loop or circle thing that you can put like in front of items on your card or behind items on your card. And so I go ahead and just wrap that around the heart and then kind of push it on the sides so that it stays. And then after that, I thought it was kind of, it needed something around the edges. And so what I ended up doing was taking my Bo Bunny Gold Glitter paste and a straw, and I tried blowing, because I experimented with this a little bit off camera. I took it and I blew it through the straw, and it looked kind of cool, but then when I actually did it on my card, I didn't get it quite right, so it just kind of looks like some gold threw up on my card. So, like I said, I started out kind of liking this card, and then at the end I just didn't, I don't know. It's okay, I guess. And then I got a arrow from my stash and adhere that on top of the card, and that is it for this card. I totally lost track of which card I was on. I think it's number 5. So the next card I'm doing is, I took this piece of pattern paper out of the paper pad, and I'm taking 4 of different size square dies from my stash, and it kind of coordinates with the size of the color squares on the paper pad. So basically I cut the one completely out, and then the rest I'm just cutting everything but the very top. So these are going to be flaps that open, and it's basically partial die cutting. You're not putting the very top piece in your plates, and so it just leaves that little bit at the top where you can pull it up, and it's like a little window. So I do that with all the dies, and then I take my little scoring tool and go ahead and score those lines so that they're clean when they fold up. And then I end up making this a shaker card. So I do most of that and take it out because for time mainly. So to go ahead and figure out where I want to place my stickers, I trace around each of the squares, and then I'm just taking the stickers from the sticker pad and placing them in the different squares. And that really small one I had a little bit of a hard time with because most of the stickers are not that small. I didn't really think about that when I was doing this. So I place each of the stickers that I want in the squares, and then I will go ahead and erase the lines. And then, like I said, I make this a shaker card, so I go ahead and just take, I just use packaging for the windows on this instead of getting out my heavier, gosh, I cannot think today. I'm so sorry. So, I go ahead and put the, adhere the windows, and then I also adhere the foam tape. So that's all my little scraps of foam, or not foam tape, but foam, adhesive foam. So as you can see, it looks kind of messy, but you don't see that part, so that's fine. So I've gone ahead and I've already prepared that, and once I put the shaker mix, which one of my, I think they're actually both Recollections confetti or glitter. And then I'm just going to adhere those so that they fit over these stickers. And then I'll take more stickers from the sticker sheet and put them over the 2 bigger flaps. I also put the stickers "Love You" on the bottom, and I do end up taking that off because I don't really like the way it looks. So I couldn't find a sticker small enough to go over the very top window. So here I am taking this sticker off, and then I found another sentiment sticker that just says Happy Valentine's Day, and I end up using that. So I like the little llama peeking his head through the window. And then the other little windows have confetti on them. I think this is kind of a cute card. I think it'd be kind of cute to make a kid's card like this, to have different things behind the windows. I think that would be fun for them. So that is, I hope I'm on number 6, because I totally lost track of where my numbers are. So for this card, I took the kind of grid paper. It's like a light gray grid paper, pattern paper. And I took a heart that would pretty much fill up the entire card base. And I'm going to do a little bit of sewing on this card. That is not my strong suit. So I don't have a sewing machine, so I'm just using needle and thread. And I'm taking my Dritz tracing tool to make the lines that I'm going to be using, or the little, the holes that I'm going to be using to sew through. I didn't press down on that Dritz tool hard enough, so the holes didn't go all the way through. So I do end up taking my piercing tool and going through each of those holes. So I'm just taking some gray thread, and I'm just going a simple stitch down one way, up the other. So I do this all the way across the card, and I insert, when I get to about the middle of the card, I put the pink heart so that I end up sewing across that also. And this is about the extent of my sewing skills, so. And so I had this little pink button, and I took some gray and white twine and went ahead and made a bow, and took some glue dots, and I'm going to adhere the button with the glue dots right in the middle of that heart. And then I used a glue dot also to adhere the ribbon to the button. And then for the background of this card, I'm taking Distress Inks, picked raspberry and a gray color. I cannot see what that says. So I'm just going to take that and water it down a little bit, and I'm going to get my glitter pen out again. So I'm just going to put my glitter pen directly in the ink and splatter that. Splatter is the word I was looking for at the beginning of the video. I'm going to splatter that gray and pink ink all around the card, and then I'll blot that off, and I end up drying that with my heat tool completely. And then I end up taking the heart and adhering that directly to my card base, just flat. Here I'm trying to figure out the placement. Originally I was going to use some tags, and I really wanted to use that cute little clothespin, and I just couldn't get it to work. I just think the heart was too big for much of anything else, and so I end up setting that stuff aside. And like I said, I adhere the heart to the card base, just flat against the card base. And then I take the little guitar and adhere that also. This little piece of ephemera, I Heart You, I end up taking my postage stamp square die again, and cutting that out so that it's got a kind of a postage stamp look around it. And most of my dies are unbranded. I do buy plenty of stuff from the local stores, and especially from scrapbook.com. I do purchase a lot of items, but dies are one thing that are very expensive if you don't buy them from the if you buy them from pretty much the name brand companies. They're very expensive. I did find a company recently that sells some very reasonably priced dies that is out of Washington, I believe. And that is called, the company is called Cat Scrappiness. And if you subscribe or watch Jess, Jess Crafts videos, I think she's a design team member for them, but they have some very reasonably priced dies. So I'm thinking about purchasing some of those. So I attach everything to the card and get my little sequins out. So I put, I think, about 5 sequins, some pink and very light pink, and then some see-through sequins. So I just go ahead and adhere those to my card using, I believe my Tombow, my Ranger Multimedia matte glue. So I like this card too. I think this card turned out super cute. So this next card, I am using a white card base, a brown panel, a piece of from the ephemera pack, and I am so sorry if you can hear the background. My boyfriend is out there, or my fiance now is out there moving cars around and not being very quiet about it. So I go ahead and I edited a lot of this out because it's basically stuff that's been already gone through on the video. And so basically with the brown panel, I take my Versamark Dazzle and stamp the hearts, and then I use some copper embossing powder. Oops, sorry about that. And some brown stickles and some red twine, and that's pretty much it for that card. I realized when I was making that card that I do not have a lot of brown. I don't have brown washi tape. The only thing brown that I had in liquid was the stickles. I have brown paper, but like other than that, like embellishments and stuff, I'll have to get me some more brown. This is the last card, I believe. This is card number 10. This is the one that I made last anyhow, so I'm hoping it's number 10. I love this pattern paper, and there was only one piece of it, and originally why there's so many different pieces is I was going a different direction and then I changed my mind. So basically what I did, I cut a square piece of the pattern paper, and then I cut 3 hearts that are like graduated in size. So not the smallest, but the next one up, and the next one up, and then the next one up. So I used those 3. I cut a panel with the biggest of the hearts that I had, and pop that up on my right over the square, because the lines in this paper kind of look like a tree trunk, and that's what it looks like to me. So I kind of wanted like a spiral look in a way. And so I just adhere that over the square that I'd already adhered, and the panel is popped up with probably adhesive foam. So I'm going to put the biggest heart down first, and I use my adhesive foam for that, or not my adhesive foam, my double-sided adhesive, this roll that I got for Christmas. And then I'm going to take the next smallest heart and do the same thing, put adhesive foam and place it on top of that. And I'm going to take the smallest heart and again put adhesive foam and pop that up. So it's kind of like a graduated, it looks really cool from the side. I think it looks kind of cool from the top too, but it makes me think of like the whole pattern looks like a tree trunk, and just the gold and the pink. I just love this paper. So I went ahead and grabbed one of the pieces, the sentiment that I had cut out originally for a card that I did earlier in this video, and I go ahead and just adhere that onto the top. And I wanted something on the sides, so I just took some of the extra pattern paper and cut out little hearts with a heart die. So that will finish up this 10 cards from the Main Squeeze collection by Cray Paper. I hope you enjoyed watching as much as I enjoyed making. I absolutely had a blast making these cards. Even if all of them didn't turn out quite how I wanted, I still love the creative process, and I really enjoyed making them. So here's a preview of all 10 cards. Leave a comment below and let me know which one you like. If you liked this video or found it informative, please give me a thumbs up. And if you are not subscribed and you would like to be kept informed of when I make new videos, please go ahead and hit that red subscribe button. I'll have at least one video out this long holiday weekend. I hope you all enjoy, and thanks so much for watching.